and then got my dad, and he flew like 10 feet and hit the ground.
She watched as her dad was hit and thrown from his motorcycle during Sunday's chaotic crime spree that crossed state lines. Hear from her, plus an update on the case tonight.
We're talking increased fire danger across the region tomorrow with hot, windy conditions continuing.
Honestly, this is the closest call that we've ever had.
It was a busy day for fire crews and a nerve-wracking one for neighbors as several fires sparked south of town, including some that firefighters describe as suspicious. Good evening and thank you for joining us for the KREM 2 Night Report. I'm Mark Hanrahan. First up tonight, firefighters are investigating a suspicious fire that started earlier this afternoon near the Cheney Spokane road. That fire is contained right now. It marks the latest in a string of suspicious fires in that same area. Firefighters were just there last week, putting out 2 other suspicious fires. The brush fire burned about 3 to 5 acres today, and the Spokane Fire Department believes that someone started it intentionally. The Department of Natural Resources is the leading agency on this fire. Meantime, in Cheney tonight, neighbors breathing a sigh of relief after a fire broke out earlier this evening, burning 2 acres and destroying a neighbor's shed. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy tells us more as wildfire season is heating up.
Near Tereski Lane and South Cheney Plaza Road, firefighters and the Department of Natural Resources responded to a 2-acre brush fire just before 5 p.m. It caught neighbor Rachel Sheffield by surprise.
I went running down to the neighbor's house first to make sure they were okay and to kind of see what was going on, check it out, see where exactly it was at, how close it was to our house.
She found out it was just a few houses down from she and her family's. She says it was too close for comfort.
This is the closest call that we've ever had. This is the closest that it's been to us.
Firefighters say the fire burned 2 acres of a 6-acre property and an outbuilding was destroyed. Crews contained the fire and began mop-up around 6:30. The cause at this time is being investigated by DNR. The fire, while put out, has Sheffield thinking of the danger.
It's so dry out here, and we had a little bit of a breeze today, so things can spread pretty quickly.
It's why Sheffield says she's watering her front yard, making sure the grass is green and less likely to catch fire and spread as fast if it were dry. The American Red Cross advises those living in areas that pose a risk for wildfires to sign up for free emergency alerts from local first responder agencies, have a go plan in place in case any evacuations are issued, and to keep personal, financial, and medical records safe. It's advice Sheffield says she's keeping top of mind as the weather into summer only gets warmer.
Just really being cautious and taking those extra steps to just be careful.
Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
On that note, let's talk weather on this Tuesday night. It was a beautiful day across the inland Northwest, and it looks like we have more sunshine in our future. Let's get outside right now to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy the Goo for a check of the forecast. Jeremy?
Mark, I think tomorrow winds up a little sunnier, a little bit windier, unfortunately. So it's something worth talking about. 70 degrees is where we currently sit. 70 degrees here, but look what happens off to the north. 50s in Deer Park and Sandpoint, mid-70s out in central Washington. We're going to hang on to that heat. Tomorrow it comes back with vengeance. We are back up in the 80s or upper 70s, depending on where you are. But red flag warnings are in effect for central Washington and the lee side of the Cascades. Down in the Lewis and Clark Valley as well for winds up to 25 to 35 miles per hour. Those red flag warnings stretch from 2 to 8 p.m. That's when we'll see the peak fire danger. And with a lot of those fires we saw today, they not only sparked but spread incredibly fast. And believe it or not, right now, we are sitting about as wet as we will be between now and the end of the year. The only chance to change that sits all the way out there. Seriously, way out there off the coast. Here's how this one plays out. Tomorrow, a little bit of wind. Not much going on, but as we get closer to the weekend, clouds fill in and the chance of rain returns. Most of it misses us, but we have a chance of showers starting Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. Next few days, hot, sunny, and tomorrow is windy.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. We'll check back in with you later in the show. Tonight, we now know the identity of the man that carjacked several people and led police on a chase that spanned 2 states. Police say Ryan Tietsort also shot and killed a bystander and ran over a motorcyclist in the process. KREM 2's Christian Garza spoke exclusively to that motorcyclist's daughter, who says he is lucky to be alive.
Caring, stoic, and selfless. These are all words used to describe Richard Embry, who was hit by Sunday's carjacking suspect. His daughter Jordan now sharing for the first time what she saw firsthand that day. What started as a normal drive down West Celti's Way to breakfast on Father's Day ended with police lights and Richard Embry being transported to the ICU after being hit by a car in the middle of a police pursuit following a spree of carjackings in the area.
It's hard to see him in that state for sure.
His daughter Jordan witnessing the whole thing.
This person just flew past them going like 110.
The family of three were on separate motorcycles heading to their grandmother's Sunday morning when she says a car sped by them and unexpectedly flipped around and headed straight for her family, narrowly missing her brother.
And then got my dad, and he flew like 10 feet and hit the ground.
Moments after the crash, Jordan says her main focus was making sure her dad was conscious.
Yeah, it was just a very scary moment, but I was like, I'm not leaving him. I'm making sure that he's okay, he's staying calm.
After the crash, Jordan says her brother followed the car to the Liberty Stop and Go in Post Falls when he was then face to face with the gunman.
He goes to the gas station and the man just pulls out an AR, and my brother was like, okay, this is not what we're doing.
She later confirmed that she was there when the officer-involved shooting happened.
I looked up and literally saw the guy in the middle of the street with an AR and then heard the gunshots. So that was very scary.
Richard was then taken to the Kootenai Health Hospital, where it was confirmed that he has 2 broken wrists, 3 broken ribs, broken toes, a few fractured vertebrae, and is on oxygen due to lung complications.
It's just sad to see my dad in this situation. It's very hard because he never shows that he's in pain. And I've never seen him in this amount of pain before, obviously.
Has your father been able to maybe talk to you guys or kind of wrap his head around what happened on Sunday, and what is he saying about everything?
He has kind of wrapped his head around it. We've gotten to see him a few times. He said he remembers all of it. He was literally joking. He's like, I'm definitely not Superman, but I know that I can fly for 10 seconds. And that's definitely my dad.
While it will be a long road to recovery, Jordan says her father is in good spirits and hopes to be transferred to a regular room within the next few days and released from the hospital within the next few weeks.
I was like, okay, he's alive. That's all that matters.
We have a link to Richard's GoFundMe and a recap of Sunday's crime spree up on our website, KREM.com. In the newsroom, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
Now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Now to the latest in the ongoing manhunt for Travis Decker, the Wenatchee man charged with killing his 3 young daughters. As the search continues, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office warning people about a TikTok circulating online that portrays Sheriff Morrison and claims that Decker is in custody after a standoff. Chelan County confirming Decker is not in custody and the TikTok portrays false information. But today, authorities issued an alert for people living in the areas of Red Bridge Road, Tiana Way, Swauk and Lauderdale Junction and Liberty. People are urged to be on the lookout and check their trail and doorbell cameras for any suspicious activity. These are renderings released today by the Sheriff's Office of Decker. You are still advised to call 911 if you have any information on his whereabouts, and there is still a $20,000 reward for information leading to Decker's arrest. Happening Thursday, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students will be back in court. At issue are the defense's push to delay the trial after a Dateline episode revealed information about the case that was not publicly available. The defense also wants to provide evidence of what they call an alternate suspect in the case. Portions of that hearing tomorrow, specifically the part about another suspect, will be closed to the public. Today, a 21-year-old man pleaded not guilty to the murder of another man last month. Philip Weber is charged with second-degree murder in the death of Mark Haferman. Court documents show the two met at a Ramada hotel in Spokane after a brief online interaction. Weber told police Haferman was not the man he talked to online and that he decided to leave. He says that's when Haferman followed him. After a struggle, Weber claims he shot Haferman when he couldn't get away from him. Today, a judge reduced Weber's bond from $750,000 to $10,000. And that'll do it for your night beat. For more information on any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. All right, still ahead tonight, Spokane City Council left undecided after a meeting that stretched on for hours last night following disagreements over homelessness ordinances. That story coming up next.